Hello, we're live. Hello, everyone. Yes, where has the week gone? Well, that's a good sign if you're feeling that way. Rather than time dragging, it's usually a sign of being fed up. So if time's hurtling by, well, you're clearly having a very good week. Eric, I hope so anyway. Hope you've got sunshine. We've got lovely sunshine today. It makes such a difference, doesn't it? It does lift the mood. Yes. Hello. So I'm sharing something as requested by Eric because I've been finding so many different folds. I've been setting myself lots of challenge. I do work at things, I have to say, and I've just been really keen to discover more things. It also means I'm much more free. Hello, Melvin, Stephen. I'm much more free than to just share whatever I find as well, which just frees me up. It makes things a lot easier. So I've been almost sealing myself in a little bubble and seeing what happens. And most nights, new things emerge. Goodness knows how. I might give myself a bit of a break at some point. But this one I'm excited about sharing with you. We all know and love the fortune teller. And I have been deliberately playing around with whether you can kind of, I suppose, slightly mutate it, really. Again, a little bit inspired by viruses, but it's the stuff of evolution. Start with something that works very well and start experimenting from there and seeing what happens. And actually, wonderful things can happen and do happen. So, so we've been experimenting, and it's kind of like a flower. I actually found quite a few different variants, as it were. But I thought this one was particularly pretty, so you can enjoy it as a flower, but it does still work. So if you want to revisit how wonderful the fortune teller or chatterbox is, then you can still use it, but it's become a flower. So shape-shifting flower. Yeah. And I also rather love how on the other side it's almost like a flower in itself too. So I found myself just enjoying it as a strange little morphing sculpture. I mean, that side I really like. So I'll show you. Excellent. Well done, Eric. You're already organised. Oh, hello, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining us. It's been so lovely to see your work and to hear that it's made a difference too, and to see last time the Met ring with the sculpture. That was amazing similarities, wasn't it? Hello, Deborah. Welcome. Oh, it's amazing, isn't it, that we're still gathering lots. It's become a new way of living, and actually this is just so accessible, isn't it, being able to do things online. So I'm looking forward to sharing this with you. Maybe do a bit of colouring in if you feel like it. I thought it made it much more like a flower, actually. This is it with origami paper. And obviously you can have it reversed, so it's colourful on the outside and white inside, but I thought this looked most effective and rather lovely. Oh, honey, welcome. Great to have you here. Gary, fantastic. Brilliant to have you here. Fantastic. Wow, what's going on? I thought the sun's out, then no one's going to be here. So this is a lovely surprise. Yes, we're on a new kind of journey of more origami and looking after ourselves and just giving ourselves a bit of fun. It's much needed, isn't it? So yeah, we're going to make this shape-shifting piece of origami based on the fortune teller, but it's also a flower. I don't know whether anyone else has seen one of these, but it is just from me playing around. So over the last couple of months, I've found about over 100 different things. I mean, they're pretty variable. Some will be maybe quite different. Some will be things that people have found before. It doesn't really matter, but just encouraging myself to be playful. You don't have to have a plan. I think that's often creativity, is allowing yourself to just enter the unknown, see what happens. I'd be amazed how often things do happen. And I think probably with time you get to learn little basic principles, so it's not quite starting from nothing. It's brilliant to have everybody here. Fantastic. Yeah, it should, and I think that's what heart origami is, allowing yourself to be playful. I think as adults we find we're often not playful enough, and it really does help us, I think, to adapt to things. I suppose it's the neoteny, that's the word I think of as a biologist, that we do retain that childlike side of us, which actually allows us to be creative and to change and to be able to adapt. So it's also about adapting yourself too. Being playful will mean it's a bit of fun. I reckon that's why a lot of people drink, is probably to be playful. I have to say I can be playful whatever the time of day. And it's a joy to just pass that on. So, yeah, officially playing. But it is allowed as an adult. In fact, it's important. It allows everyone to get on better as well, doesn't it? If you can have a little bit of fun. So make sure you get some paper. You can, of course, if you had origami paper, if you wanted to, you could use that. I'm going to show you with just plain paper. I'm going to get out my felt tip pens as well, some highlighters. So if you've got any pens, why not? I thought it looked really quite good. Oh, so yes, doodling of paper, having a bit of fun. You'll never tire of that. And I think actually that's what being a scientist is about too. But you do have to be a little bit rigorous as well. You can't just do whatever you feel like. But at heart, it's playful. It's asking questions. It's being curious. All of these things are very good for our well-being. Excellent. So I'm going to grab a piece of paper, and hope you are too. And first of all, I'm going to make a really big one actually. So I am going to. You could half a paper. I think I'm going to make a big one though. So I'm going to take the corner, and yeah, I've been keen to maintain this 2 o'clock on Wednesday. I suppose it's midweek, and we can make it a whole lot better. Look after your well-being. Just taking 20 minutes, half an hour out. That shouldn't be too much to ask, should it? No. There we go. So as usual, I lined everything up nice and carefully through the point. And we're going to get rid of this rectangle. So turning it over and then bringing this back. No doubt this scrap piece of paper will be me testing out little ideas. So I think that's what I've ended up doing with these leftover strips of paper, is playing around and seeing what happens with those. So we've got plenty more things coming up in future weeks. Yeah. If you've got any requests, I tend to be sharing lots of what I've been doing as well. So I made a square. I'm going to start adding some colour. I think I'm going to turn it over. So you've got that sort of mounted on that side. I'm going to have a quick scribble. Don't mind me. Really, I found the scribbling quite effective. It's also rather fun. Thoroughly recommend a bit of scribbling. Of course, you can't ever do anything completely random either. You can try. But it is a good stress relief. So thoroughly recommend. Right, but yellow. It will actually look like it makes sense at some point. Oh, really, I am being playful, aren't I now? Little bit of green. I'm afraid I'm always attracted to rainbows. And lovely meaning behind that in so many ways. Right, I think that will do me. Enjoy doing a bit of scribbling. Have you been doing any scribbling? Yay, scribbling! Excellent. So I've done my little scribble. I've not gone too dramatic. Well, it's fairly dramatic. I've not gone too dark colours, so you can hopefully still see what I'm doing. So, oh, brilliant. Oh, you've been doing lots of things. Yes, fantastic. With drawing as well. That's brilliant. Oh, yes, enclosing spaces. Gosh, wonderful. And honey, you bring your own different way of doing it all. It's wonderful. It really is. Was that sarcastic, Eric? That's fine. So I turned it over to the white side. I'm going to do the other diagonal. We're basically going to start off by making a fortune teller chatterbox. This, if you haven't done this for a while, then enjoy running through a trip down memory lane. You're very likely to have done this long ago, and it is a great thing to do. So I've done both diagonals. I'm next going to take the corner and bring it to the middle, and I'm going to do that on each of the sides. So you'll start to see the colour now. That's it. Hope I'm getting this the right way around in terms of the colouring. That's it. And it, actually doing a little bit of scribbling and folding, it looks quite orderly again. I mean, it doesn't look like that, does it? Oh, Turner is ice. Yes, I love Turner too. Yes, they do have a bit of a scribbly feel, don't they? His painting. Love his paintings. They are just incredible. They really are. Yeah, brilliant. So taking all those outside points, bring it to the middle. I mean, that is in itself a beautiful thing, isn't it? I love the shadow and the light there. You can appreciate. So you're all happy? So our next step will be to turn this to the back now. And we're going to take the outside and bring it to the middle. Yes, it is a bit Monet as well. I can imagine it could be a pond. Oh, brilliant. That's it. So taking the outside points and bringing to the middle. Looks like it could all make perfect sense. I'm imagining Monet now. Yes. I have been to his gardens, actually. Gaverny. Yeah. In France, of course. Very lovely. Gosh, treasuring all those times of travelling. Let's hope they come back again. Really missing going to another country. Such a great thing to see life in a different way. I think it's, to be honest, not quite the same going for a holiday in Britain. Anyway, that's just how it is for now. It makes us appreciate things, doesn't it, this time? That has to be a good thing. Certainly made me creative, even more creative than normal. Oh, yes. So again, it's a lovely thing. So we're going to make it into, first of all, just to show you that it is actually the chatterbox. So turn it now to the other side with these squares. And if we just fold back along that line, both ways, we're just making the chatterbox. Then you'll see how it works, first of all. And the other way, this will remind you, if it hasn't already, of childhood. Yes, it's one of those. I remember even as a child going, oh, it looks very complicated. So someone who knows what they're doing to make this seem very clever. So you should then be able to put your fingers into those little, and it makes a lovely shape, of course. And it's a great thing. And actually, once you made it to flower, it won't be quite as nice and pleasing to actually move as this is at the moment. But it'll be quite fun to make it into flower. Yes. So, right, I'll tell you how to make it to flower. Is everybody happy? Has everybody made their fortune teller, salt cellar? Is it that people put salt and pepper in there? I don't know. Maybe. Okay, so how to make it into the flower? Me experimenting. So flatten it down again and turning to those flaps on the inside. Great. And what we're going to do is just open up the flaps. We're just going to do a bit of unraveling a bit, really. That's it. And then turn back to the other side. That's it. So we sort of opened it up. Happy? Have you all managed to do that? So it's just undoing a little bit. So we're back to this flat step. So our next step will be to take the middle and bring it up there. So this is a very simple little pattern, and it's kind of slightly opening up the tops of the fortune teller. So I'm going to take this and fold it up there. So it's just neatly fitting back into that shape, actually. Really not many folds, and it's changed it a lot. So it was that in the middle and then bring it up to the top, like so. And if you do that on each of these sides, and you can enjoy that in its own right, actually, it's a nice little, again, a nice little pattern. Probably, you could imagine it could be a little frame or something. Maybe this is another traditional piece. I have no idea. So doing this on each side. Probably easier on a flat surface, not into a camera, but that's why it's quite good to do it big. Lovely. That's it, bottom, and then bring it up to the top there. Are you all happy? Have you all managed to do that? Quite straightforward, isn't it? We're actually almost there already. So our next step to make it look more like a flower is we're going to fold from that middle to that corner, and it sort of makes a nice little slightly complex shape, really. So I'm just taking this and I'm bringing this back, and it won't line up there. It will be, so I'm going from there to the corner. I might need to see what I'm doing more properly, and I'll show you. the camera. So it's like this. So it was lying down there, and I went from that middle point to the corner. And you're going to do this on each of those sides. Makes sense? Yep, so just enjoy that you're making a, looks like more of a complex, almost picture frame. So it would look like that. And I'm doing that on each of these sides. Have you all got what I mean? I can't hear you. Oh, there we go. So again, folding it from that middle to the corner, each side. You're just enjoying a little bit of patterns. After the scribbling comes the folding. Go. That's it. Yeah, I hope you've been able to enjoy getting outside a bit more, a little bit more sunshine. Feels a little bit more like summer. Even if you're inside, it makes a difference just to get a bit more light, doesn't it? I do find it a bit tricky when it gets a bit grey. Then I have to get really creative. Just, yeah, make your own sunshine. So, looks rather nice, doesn't it? Oh, you lost me. Sorry, Margaret. Where were you? Was it me? Was it you? I don't know. So, Margaret, just in case. Oh, was it? Can you all see me again? I hope it's working. So what I did was I slightly opened up the chatterbox so it's sort of flat, and with each of these flaps I brought that middle up to the top. You know, if ever there's a little bit of a gap, there's already a video as well, and you can also look. Wi-Fi, yes. Was it me or was it? I suppose, how can you tell if it's everyone saying that they couldn't see? Then it was me. I don't know. Taking this corner, folding it up. So I'm folding it from the middle to the corner and doing this on every side. Right, you've actually made it. And our next step is to sort of assemble it. I have to say, I very much have been enjoying the modular, but there's always more possibility of things falling apart. Whereas if you use a single piece of paper, I can see the beauty of it that will never fall apart if it's a single piece of paper. So it is very strong. Oh, it's an ideal solstice star activity. That's lovely. The four corners of the four seasons and the source of life in the middle. Oh, honey, that's amazing. Wow. Oh, yes. Please do share in that way. That's lovely. Really lovely. A four is such a basis for origami, and occasionally I try playing with other shapes. I have to say triangles are very good. But yeah, it's amazing how flexible a square is, actually, how strong it is. Right, so we're going to sort of reassemble our fortune teller, which is just going back to the position it was in. So you'll find that there's already the corners will fold backwards, if that makes sense. So fold them back. I suppose it's now crossing over. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit more complex than it was before. Yes, that's right, folding them back. These crunchy noises of the paper. Lots of layers. So this is what it's like on the other side. There we go. It's already become a lot more complex sort of shape, hasn't it? And now thinking about it as a fortune teller. So folding it inwards. And here, these lovely corners were before right down to there, and you put your fingers in. They're now like shortened corners. But you can put your fingers in those little corners, and as we made it before, it becomes the fortune teller. But as you look inside it, it's a really nice flower as well. And you see all those random looking scribbles. I thought they'd come together nicely with the sort of almost white frame. It looks so it looks quite natural, doesn't it? So this is what it's like on the back. And as I said, I also rather like playing with it. You can pop it that way, enjoy that shape. The underneath is interesting. Before I was playing with this is an interesting shape and structures. Don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just playing with it. Oh, you're welcome, Stephen. I'm glad you like it, and it's still usable and doable, isn't it? I did find other variations, but I thought this is probably the good one to start with. I can show some others another time, or experiment yourself and find things. Oh, I like how it's that shape. I'm just shape shifting around. I know possibilities are endless. Well, often it's about what works, but there is a lot more possibilities than you think. But I think what's lovely about with paper is it is about what happens to work, which is more complex than you thinking things out. It's only by doing things that you'll find out what works. Actually, I think when I was doing the film, I found that these were curling back. So this is another extra variation. You could maybe even tuck these corners. Variations. Oh, yeah. Another way of doing it. You see, so it's actually revealing the colour, which is quite nice actually. I found this while filming, and it reveals the colour a bit more again. So that's another. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? So it's sort of opened up the flower. It's moving around, but it looks quite decorative and rather nice, doesn't it? It's become a lot more complex looking than the fortune teller. I hope that's right for you. And yeah, do feel free to experiment, see what happens. Bit of scribbling, bit of folding, and you could still even use it if you wanted to for giving those options. I'm not sure options for what. I'm trying to remember what we did as children. What kind of things did we ask? It's usually about who you're going to marry. No, it seems a bit ridiculous now. No, I don't know who you love. What things you like. These kind of, I guess, these things that we played with at the time. Who knows? I'm not quite sure what I'd put for options and questions now. It'd be quite interesting, wouldn't it, as an adult to think, what would I ask? Don't know. Can't remember. Or just enjoy it as a flower. I think that's what I'm going to do anyway. Just enjoy it. It's a lovely shape-shifting thing. So next week I am going to be bringing along a traditional fold and looking forward to sharing that. I'm going to keep that a surprise. I think Harry knows what we're going to do next, which will be great. Yeah, traditional fold, which actually I've only recently discovered, and it's so effective. So I'm sure a lot of you, if any of you been doing origami for years, I know lots of you have, you'll know it, but again I've been combining with a bit of colouring and it's very effective, so I thought that would be good. Week after that I think I've got down a reef that I've been playing with that I've discovered, and who knows if anyone else has discovered it, but I'll be passing that on. Excellent. Yeah, shaded origami paper, that's a really good idea. Yes. So wishing you all a good rest of your day, good rest of your week. And yeah, I'll be sharing another film next week live. It's always really nice, isn't it? I'm amazed lots of people have come along today. What's going on? I'm very happy for that. It's great. It's good to keep this as a constant. And I also obviously record and add a film every week as well. So you can always catch up that way too. And yeah, many more things to share with you. Can't wait. And have an experiment yourself as well. I thoroughly recommend it. Honestly, you don't need to know what you're doing at all. It's embracing the unknown and just seeing what happens. But actually, whatever, I absolutely always believe what you're doing, you are making discoveries. And it's so lovely to be able to do that with others, isn't it? And for me, that's what origami represents. The people are sharing that, embracing discoveries and having a bit of fun together. So I hope it's brought a bit of fun to your day. As ever, fantastic to be with you all. Thank you for supporting, and very much thanking your colleagues in the hospital ECH. But this is for everyone, and it's lovely to get your support. So take care. See you soon. Bye-bye. Happy playing. Bye-bye.